Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome again to another painting tutorial. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. I hope you enjoy my painting videos and other videos that are painting related. So today I'll be painting a seascape with some palm trees on the side. In all honesty, this is not the first time that I'll be doing this type of painting, but I feel like it's been years since the last time I did something like this. So I just keep on going. I just paint, even if they are similar. I just enjoy painting subjects, even if I've already painted them or a similar painting has already been done by me. So yeah, here are the colors that I'll be using for today's painting tutorial. We have titanium white, primary cyan. You can use primary blue, burnt sienna, sap green, lemon yellow, or primary yellow. Some light brown, so burnt sienna will be lightened later for the sand part of the beach. So you can simply add white accordingly, meaning we can adjust the tone of the brownness by mixing white to it, making it lighter, or mixing black to it if you want it to make it darker. And also black. But to be honest with you, I'm not really using pure black this time. It's just a mixture of all the paints that I've used in the past videos that I did not throw away or I did not just let to dry out. So it's just a mixture of everything and it becomes muddy, and therefore I'll be using it as an alternative to pure black. So if you have your pure black, it doesn't matter, just use that. Only that I want to make use of those excess paints that I have. It doesn't really affect the quality of the painting that we'll be making today. So I'll be sketching first the subject as always, and for the sketch part, I'll be using I'll be using a fairly like a medium brush. This is size 14 square brush, and I'm just gonna wet my brush. And oh, I haven't really prepared the colors, by the way. So I just mentioned the colors, but I did not actually prepare them like on my palette and like that. And my tendency, that's why I do have excess paints right here. My tendency is to always get more paints than I need. And I know it's not just me. I know there are other people, or maybe a lot of artists do that as well. It's just that I don't want to keep on going back to my tubes, getting getting the paints, and I just want to paint really like smoothly. I don't want to keep on getting paints every single time. It's very normal actually to get those excess paints. That's why in order for me not to feel so guilty about it, I collected them, and here it goes. I have my alternative to black paint. So if I just want a black background, I can use that. I mean, if I just want a dark background, not necessarily black, I can use the mixture of all the paints that I have here, and I can have a dark background. Okay, so as I mentioned, I'm going to sketch first the subject, and I'll be using my primary cyan, or you can use your primary blue if you don't have that. So I'm going to identify first where the horizon is going to go. It will be like 1/3 of my 11 by 14 canvas paper. Okay, just like that. So there you go, the horizon line. Now that we have identified the horizon line, I'm going to go and identify where the water is going to go. So the water will be more slanted, at least in appearance, because of the angle. Like maybe here, and it goes right there, like that. So this will be the water, and this will be the sand. Okay, and since I already have my sand blue right here, I'm just going to go ahead and color this area. Right, like that. And I might use a little bit of violet later. Okay, like that. All right. Now I'm gonna get my muddy colors. You can see that it's just a mixture of colors that I have here. I'm just gonna get a little bit of that, just to get that muddy color or black. And I'm gonna use that to create some gray color. I'm gonna mix it with white. And I'm gonna start creating like gray color right here. Let's start with the underpainting first. This is just the underpainting, by the way. Right here. All right, just like that. I'm gonna get my white just to lighten things up a bit. All right. Okay, I'm just washing my brush out because of too much paint. Okay, I'm gonna grab my blue and like somehow soften that separation between the gray and the blue. Just soften it, meaning you try to blend it. All right, just like that. Okay, I want to let this dry for a while. Okay, like that. And now let's proceed to doing the sky before we do the sand part. So for the sky, I'm just going to use maybe a quite big brush. This is size, this is what, I don't know, 1 inch square brush or flat brush. I really don't know. But it says on the package that it's 1 inch. Okay, so I'm gonna do the sky now. So I'm gonna wet my brush and I'm gonna get, of course, my cyan blue or my cyan blue, my cyan. Okay, I'm just gonna spread this color right here. Okay, right here as well. I keep on wetting my brush so that I get an evenly distributed color of this blue color. And as I've mentioned in my past videos, this canvas paper is really, really absorbent. So it will feel drier than the usual canvas, stretch canvas that I normally paint on. But I kind of like it because it's compact and I can do a lot of paintings by just using my sketchbook without having to worry about, the space that it will occupy inside my room. So it's actually very space saving. All right, now I'm going to take advantage of this time when the paint is still wet. And I'm going to dab onto my white, heavily using white right here. Going to heavily use this white color down here near the horizon line. Try to blend the blue and the white a bit. Okay, like this. And try to blend. Okay, like that. We will fix the horizon because it's not that straight, but we're still in the preliminary stage of the painting. That's why everything looks a little bit weird, or some things are looking weird. For the meantime, okay, now I'm gonna switch my brush. I'm gonna change my brush to an angle brush. Actually, I could have simply picked another brush, but this is just what is easily available. I mean, within my reach. Okay, so I'm just gonna dab onto my gray. So I'm gonna mix the white with the gray color that I already have because we did the gray part here. So I'm just lightening it a bit, lightening it up a bit, and I'm just gonna make some like dry brushing technique right here because clouds are not just white; there are also some gray colors, and when you look at the sky, you will see that it's not pure white. Okay, so don't just um, look at an object very quickly, try to observe it, try to check if there are other colors present because they would normally have that color, I mean, other colors other than the dominant color that you see. So I'm going to make some streaks of clouds. And again, a little bit of finger painting just to soften it. Okay, like that. Now I'm going to use my pure white without having to wash my brush. Okay, right here. More clouds. Okay, like that. Okay. All right, like that. So now I'm going to use the same angle brush, only that we'll be using this on the horizon line. I'm going to try to fix the line because it's a little bit like excess paints just went outside the line. So I'm going to get my blue, cyan blue, mix it with the black that I have here or the muddy color that I have here just to darken this. So I'm gonna go and fix that. Oops. I need some more fixing because I think I made it a little bit weird. Okay. I'm gonna elevate this a bit. Okay, like that. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna let the sky and the water dry for now. And I'm gonna get some light brown. Just mix your burnt sienna with a little bit of white. So I already have a ready-made light brown color. So if you don't have that, you can simply mix your burnt sienna. And I'm still gonna use my burnt sienna for other purpose. That is for the branches or the trunk of the palm trees. But just use your light brown. Okay, I'm gonna use my light brown right here. I'm gonna add tiny bit of gray that we have, sorry, tiny bit of black that we have here. And I'm just gonna apply it right here on the sand part. The remaining portion that you see still unpainted would be the sand part. Okay. Okay, just like that. But this is not the actual color, all right? This is just the underpainting for the sand part. And the purpose of underpainting is to provide it some sort of dimension and, of course, some realistic feel to it. All right. Now I'm going to use a lighter version of that brown. So I'm just going to add more white to the existing light color. I'm going to add tiny bit of yellow for the sand because, sand, its color is a little bit of on the yellow side. Okay. It's not really just light brown or white. It's more of yellowy to my eyes. I don't know about you guys, but sand has that tinge of yellow. So I'm going to use this brownish, yellowish color right here. Okay, we're trying to paint over it, but then again, some portion of that darker brown that we had will, it will peek up. It will be, what they call this? It will be seen through it, somehow. It's still there. We're not trying to really cover it with the intention of substituting its color with this light color. We're just trying to do the highlights, basically. So we paint it on top of it. I'm just gonna fix that line. Now I'm gonna dab onto my pure white while the paint is still wet. I'm just gonna lighten things up a bit. This is to give that effect of the sun against or hitting the sand. All right, just like that. Right. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to go back to that later. For now, let's go back to the waters because the waters are not yet, this is not the water that we want for this. So I'm going to get my violet oh no, maybe not violet. I'm just going to go for ultramarine. So I have my ultramarine deep and I'm going to use this color to apply to the sky part and to the water part. Oh, all right. So ultramarine deep. Okay, now I'm going to use my ultramarine deep and mix it with white and a little bit of black just to tone down the color. And I'm going to use this color over here. Okay. Okay, like that. Okay, I'm going to use the same violet colors. Okay, let's make it more violet by applying more ultramarine. We're just lightly applying that color in the sky because we want that realistic feel to it. Okay, just like this. Although a lot of these areas will be painted with trees, so it will be covered with trees, but we want this color to be there. I'm gonna use my ultramarine, pure ultramarine right here on top or above, the topmost portion of the painting. The purpose is to frame as well, to visually frame this painting as well, not just to give it that realistic look, but to frame it visually. I don't know why my neighbor is like slamming the door when they open it. What's wrong with them? Gonna apply more cyan, my cyan blue, just to make the color more solid. All right, just like that. And then light blue again. I'm gonna apply white to my cyan blue. And I keep on saying cyan blue when cyan is already on the blue color, on the blue side of things. Why do I say that? So I just mix my cyan with white to lighten things up a bit. Okay. Sorry guys, that's not the correct way to say the color. It's just cyan. You don't say cyan blue. It's just cyan or blue. Okay. If there are beginners watching my videos, uh, apologies for the wrong terms. Okay, now let's go back to the waters. Okay, or maybe not. I'm just gonna go back to doing the sky more. I'm gonna do some pure white, just near the horizon line, lightening this area a bit. Okay. Be careful not to um, touch that horizon line, break the straight line. I mean, it probably is not that straight, but you don't want to keep on uh, correcting it every single time you go over this area. Just do your best not to touch it, not to change the shape anymore. All right, just like that. And apply a little bit of blue right here just to balance things. All right. Okay. As I mentioned, let's go back to the waters. So I'm gonna use my white. Okay, we're gonna dry brush along or on the on the water area. So I'm gonna go and create some waves, like wave-like patterns. Like that. Okay, I'm gonna use white just along that line that separates the water from the sand. So we kind of want to lighten it even more. We already lightened it earlier, but we want to lighten it even more to suggest light. Okay, and also water hitting this part of the beach. Okay, like that. Mm, okay. Now I'm going to do some tiny, like I'm gonna use my ultramarine and black. We're going to do some tiny, and blue as well, some tiny depth, suggestion of depth right here. So I'm just gonna make some small dabs near the horizon line. And also right here. Like that. And then I'm going to use some light blue. So I'm going to mix my cyan with white. And I'm just going to apply this color very lightly right here. As I've mentioned before, in my previous videos, when I am doing water paintings, I make sure that I also use more water than usual. That's because I am painting water. And in order for me to achieve that water-like appearance on my painting, I make sure that I also use water. It just makes sense, right? Because if you are going to paint water with some um, dried application or dried paints, or not so dry, but I mean, if you don't apply the paints quite smoothly, it will most likely not get that watery appearance. That makes sense. Okay, like this. Okay, it's very noisy outside. Because the weather is so nice today, a lot of people are outside. That's why I'm not there because I don't like a lot of people. That's why I'm not outside because I know there are a lot of people and a lot of people walking. I'm just not a fan of, I don't have to deal with them exactly, but I just don't want to see a lot of people. I hope it's just not me. Okay, so now let's do some shadow work right here. So I'm gonna use remember that muddy black color or brownie color, and I'm gonna add my light brown to that. You can use your burnt sienna as well. And let's start doing some sort of shadow of the palm trees. We haven't done the palm trees, by the way. But we want to start with the shadow first so that we know like where things are going to go. I know it's looking weird right now and it doesn't make sense. But again, you have to trust me on this one. So there could be other objects that we cannot see right here. But it will suggest light play. This shadow does not have to be the shadow of the palm trees. It could be another palm trees right behind that, right behind this picture. I mean, it could be something else. What we're doing here is just a suggestion of light. Okay. And we're gonna lighten later, this shadow. Okay, like this. And we're gonna apply some more shadows. Okay, like that. Okay, again, we're gonna lighten it later. For now, let's just do this. Okay, I'm gonna allow this first to dry. Let's move on to doing the palm trees. Okay, so for the palm trees, I'm just gonna use this muddy browny color plus my burnt sienna to give it more of a brown color. But we don't want the brown color, we want some muted and dark brown color. So for the palm trees, I'm just gonna do some, uh, okay, let me just, oops. Okay, like that. Okay, like this. Okay, and we'll do another one. Okay, just like that. So this is the underpainting for that. I'm gonna apply, okay, gonna apply some dark colors right here. Okay, like that. And I'm gonna allow this first to dry, okay, before we do some highlights. Okay, I'm gonna wash my brush out. Let's do some leaves. And for the leaves, I'm just gonna use my angle brush first before we proceed to doing or to using my fan brush. So I'm gonna get my, again, my black plus sap green. We're gonna go dark first before we do some highlights. Again, angle brush, and let's create some leaves now. I just want to create some suggestion of leaves. Okay, like that. Okay, now using my angle brush, okay, let's start doing some suggestions of leaves. I think the angle brush really helps in achieving that. But then again, you can use your fan brush. Oops. I accidentally dab on some blue color. Now, you can tell that it's more repetitive right here. But just be patient. It's okay. I need some more dark color. And using my dark colors. Let's create some palm leaves. And the things, I mean, the palm leaves that we're doing is very like preliminary. Again, I keep using that word because, when we do paintings, we do it stage by stage. So until we reach that point of doing some highlights, I call it preliminary. I call the step preliminary because if it's not making sense at the moment, not making sense in terms of like the leaves are not supposed to be dark, right? They are supposed to look green and dark. So I call it still preliminary stage because of the colors that we're using are not really the highlights of the painting. Okay, now I'm gonna dab onto my yellow. But since I did not wash my brush, the effect will be more of like green in appearance. And like that. Okay, now I'm gonna dab onto my white. Okay, white without washing my brush so that we now create some light colors. Gonna dab onto my green this time. Some pure yellow. All right, now let's go back to that later. I might use a smaller brush or my fan brush. Let's just leave it like that for now. Let's move on to doing the trunk so that, you know, it kind of makes sense already. So I'm gonna get my white plus brown. So it's just light brown. Okay, and I'm gonna apply this color on like this. Right. Also here. Okay, now I'm gonna get my pure white and I'm gonna apply it right here. And I did not wash my brush really, so that, you know, I still get that brownie effect um, without making my, or I still get that white effect without making my white super white. Like it still has that brown color to it. And while I still have this white color, I'm just gonna go and apply it right here in between, lightening that part. Also right here. Okay. I'm gonna get my brown, my burnt sienna, and I'm gonna lightly apply that color right here. Again, just lightly apply that. Okay. Now, as I told you, I'm gonna lighten things up a bit right here. Okay, we're still waiting for the leaves to dry. I'm just gonna go back to the shadow part and I'm gonna get my gray color and burnt sienna. I'm gonna lighten it up. Okay, now I'm gonna water it down and tap it right here. So just, no, not really tap, but more of glazing. Not really tapping, but just glazing over this area. And of course, right here. I'm gonna use more white because I feel like it's still dark. Right here. Just like that. Okay, now we're going to make some spaces inside the shadow. So I'm gonna get my white and my light brown, making it even lighter. Let's create some tiny bits of spaces. Again, this could be the shadow of another thing that we don't see right here. So yeah, just use your imagination. All right, like that. Okay, I'm gonna lighten this part. And using some black, let's just darken some areas. Okay, let's see from the point of view of camera. All right, gonna get my yellow again. Gonna mix my yellow with white so that it's like more visible. But then again, my paintbrush is quite muddy. Okay, this calls for the use of my fan brush because I love my fan brush. So I'm gonna use a stiff fan brush that I have here. I'm gonna dab onto my yellow, okay, and white. And using this color, I'm gonna start creating some more highlights to suggest more sunlight going on. Like this. Okay, I'm gonna dab onto my green, sap green. Okay, I'm gonna dab onto my black again using my ordinary angle brush. Let's create some negative spacing. I'm not using the angle brush correctly. Okay, like that. I'm gonna get a little bit of brown, okay, because we want to give this more browny color, like inside. And then black. Some yellow. Keep going, guys. Keep going. Right. Then let's create some more detailing here. And some more shadows. Okay, like that. And then some more details on the shadow part. Okay, now I'm gonna use my palette knife. Just oops. Sorry about that. It was quite loud. Okay, so I'm gonna use my palette knife, my super, super duper overused palette knife. And I'm just gonna apply some patterns on the water part. So I'm gonna use this and some white. I already ran out of white. I'm gonna dab my white. I'm gonna dab my palette knife on my white, I mean. And I'm gonna create some movement on the water part right here. Like that. I would like to fix that. Okay, I'm gonna get my brown, my burnt sienna. I'm gonna apply it on the sand, I mean on the shadow, just around or along the shadow line. That makes sense? So just around the shadow line, like that. Okay, I'm gonna get my white and light brown. And then some white colors. You don't want to paint over that. You just want to glaze it. Okay, again, I'm gonna get my white and I'm gonna lighten, gonna highlight this. Let me check. Okay, I love it. I'm gonna get my white, more highlights. So just use the tip of your brush in doing this step. Mhm. Mhm. Now remember, I've been telling you, or I've been saying that when we're painting nature, we just don't want it to be perfectly green or perfectly yellow, perfectly blue. We want some sort of realness to it. So I'm going to add some brownie color plus yellow and maybe a little bit of black just to tone the color. And I'm going to add this brownie color on the leaves. Okay, so some leaves are already brown. We want to make sure that they appear natural. They don't look like they're perfect. And um, when they are too perfect, like the leaves are just all green and all that perfectness, I just don't like it. So I'm gonna add a little bit of like brown. You don't want to do everything brown. Of course, you can do that, but to be more realistic, just be minimal when it comes to making your leaves all dead. And I'm gonna redefine it. Let me check. And some more negative spacing. And again, I want to make sure, ooh, that's noisy, that the horizon line, it's darker, from the distance. Or the distant point or the horizon line should be darker. Right, just like that. I'm going to use a little bit of my ultramarine right here. Okay, and then my cyan. Right, like that. I'm going to lighten the sand part more. I'm just applying some watered down white on it or to it. Okay. Let me check. Okay, I love this one. Okay, I really, really like this one. Okay, I'm gonna apply some sort of brown, like inside, just to give it more of a realistic vibe. And some tips of the leaves will be brown already. I'm really like that. I just want it to be natural looking. All right. Maybe for the sky, we can do a lot more work. I'm gonna get my cyan and I'm just gonna make it like solid, more solid. Okay. Like that. Right. This is really nice. Okay. So I'm gonna sign this now. I guess this is nice. Mm-hmm. You can add more details if you want, but yeah, I can definitely obsess over this for hours. I'm just using what to highlight more leaves. I really want to suggest some sun. Right. I think I'm gonna sign this now. So I'm gonna sign this now. I'm just gonna use a small brush, small angle brush, and I'm gonna use my what should I use? I'm gonna use my black. It's not even absolutely black, but I'm just gonna use that color. I'm gonna sign right here. And we're finished. So I hope you enjoy this one. And I hope you paint along with me. If you like this video, let me know in the comment section below. If you're painting along with me, let me know as well in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this one, let me know, please. Either you tag me on my social media accounts or you can message me. Show me the versions of your painting following my tutorial so that, not only you are happy, but also me. I think I'm more happy to see those paintings than you creating my paintings. I feel more happy. I don't know why. I feel like it's rewarding. So again, thank you so much for those who have done that, and see you again in my next video. Bye guys. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, 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 mm. Love you.